Right then, lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal and Bournemouth have played out a 1-0 draw this morning. Arsenal, of course, scoring through Fabio Viera and Bournemouth scoring through Antoine Semenyo in a game that has actually had quite two interesting halves. In the first half, Arsenal were much better in terms of getting on the ball, getting the goal as well, and making things happen. And then in the second half, it was more about Bournemouth. They grew into the game and they became a much better side as well. So we're going to be diving into my thoughts, my reaction on that game. I think the big talking points are Emile Smith-Rowe didn't play in this game. Obviously, by now you know that Emile Smith-Rowe is on the verge of joining Fulham and leaving Arsenal. Fabio Viera scores. That means that Fabio Viera has now given us a reason to believe in his career at Arsenal. Ethan Nwaneri had a very good game, and there is a big possibility that Ethan Nwaneri is going to be one of the youngsters that are actually promoted to the Arsenal first team. And then, of course, there are a few things that I looked at there. Arsenal keeping possession up to 55%. Again, with a bit of a second-level team, but Arsenal managed to keep much of the ball. We'll talk about the rustiness of the players that we saw, but also a trend in Arsenal not conceding goals is actually continuing. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. I want your thoughts on Emile Smith-Rowe. Yes, the shirt number 10 is going to be available. Who do you want it to take it? Now, me, I want Fabio Viera to take the shirt number 10. I know many of you are saying you want to see Martin Odegaard in that shirt number 10, and he would look good in the 10, but I want Fabio Viera in that number 10, and I want his role in this team to be absolutely enhanced as we, if he gets it, right, as we get into the new season. So it's been a 1-1 draw, Arsenal winning 5-4 on penalties. And this is the starting 11 that Mikel Arteta put out right out there. In goal, he didn't have a lot of options, obviously, so he's gone with Carl Hayne. Ben White played at right back. Julian Timber played at centre back with Heaven, and then Lewis Kelly played at left back. Now Salah Eddin Mohan played in midfield alongside Partey and Ethan Nwaneri. Nwaneri had a very, very good game. Fabio Viera, the goal scorer, obviously on the front line with Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah. Interesting there that what you can see in the starting 11 is you don't have the likes of Trossard starting, Zinchenko didn't start, Jorginho didn't start as well, Martin Odegaard as well didn't start in this game. And that shows you that Mikel Arteta, I don't know if it's just because of preseason, but what this tells me is that this could be a manager that is ready to trust a few players out of his usual lot, right? Because Odegaard didn't have any football in the during of this season. He could have played in this game full 90 minutes or even started or 60 minutes, but he doesn't start him. So it could be a manager. We could be seeing a manager who's a little bit more trusting, and that's going to be very, very good, especially getting into a season where games are going to be coming in thick and fast. So Mikel Arteta, this was not a bad lineup, and for the first part of the game, I would say Arsenal really were comfortable, right? It was in the second half when Mikel Arteta made some changes, obviously, and then the game went into the swing for Bournemouth. Now, what actually interested me in this game is the possession stats. Arsenal had 56% of the ball, 511 touches, in that game, and we had an 89% passing accuracy. So what you're looking at there is a team that has now identified how they want to play, a team that now understands what the manager requires of them, and a team that really understands, the job, right? So I think our identity now has, trickled down to each and every department, to each and every level of the team. You can see the likes of Salah Eddin in midfield, the likes of Ethan Nwaneri in midfield, and yet we actually had more possession than a Bournemouth side that almost had a full house. And that's what I like about Mikel Arteta. That's one of the things that he's changed at Arsenal, and it's brought back the old Arsene Wenger Arsenal, where Arsenal possessed football, whether it was Joe Willock, right, from the second team on the pitch, or it was Alexander Hileb and Song Bilong. I like that because when you look at this Bournemouth side, they were not actually out of stock. Lewis Cook and Scott in midfield. You had Fiver, Tavernier, and Anthony in as well in attack, and then Dominic Solanke. Miloš Kekes played, Senesi played, Zabani played, and Max Aarons as well, and then Neto. This was almost a Premier League side, and again, I don't think that they gave us the best football because you've got to understand that they're also just coming back, but it was a good game. And Arsenal, with all those youngsters, actually put up a very good performance. But what did we learn from this game? Let's start off with Emil Smith-Rowe, because that for me is the biggest lesson that we got from this game. Emil Smith-Rowe made 0 minutes in this game, and Mikel Arteta has explained it, and he said there are things happening in the background, and therefore we thought that the best option was to leave him out in order not to risk some situations. Emil Smith-Rowe, if you don't know by now, and you've been living under my table or a rock, Emil Smith-Rowe is on the verge of leaving Arsenal Football Club to join Fulham in a deal that will see Arsenal get £45 million. $million. That's around £35 million. It's the same. Arsenal will be making the same amount of money they got from Florian Balogun's sale last summer, and Arsenal are okay with that deal. Structures are being discussed and agreed upon, but there is nothing that's going to stand in the way of that deal. So with Emil Smith-Rowe going out of the door, again, I mean, that's the first thing we saw, and I told you, yes, he was captain about 4 days ago when we played Leyton Orient. Now he's going to be among the leadership hierarchy at a very big club in London, in Fulham. So he's gone. But what we saw there in that game was this. First and foremost, Ethan Nwaneri had a very, very good performance, and he needed it. Boy, oh boy, he needed that performance. When Emil Smith-Rowe is leaving Arsenal, you don't want the team to snap and go, we have to go to the market and replace him. Right? You have to provide yourself as an option. You have to provide yourself as an alternative. Can you give us a good game? And you can see him right there. Sorry about that. You can see him right there alongside Partey and alongside Salah Eddin Mohand, and he had a good game. He had a very, very good game. So there is a likelihood, and the Athletic are reporting this morning, that there's a likelihood that we are going to see Ethan Nwaneri step into the first team. Not necessarily to replace Emil Smith-Rowe, but as one of the players that get the opportunity to benefit from the departure of Emil Smith-Rowe. And if probably Ethan Nwaneri, if he can have much better games, I mean, we've seen the likes of Kobe Mainu have good games at such a young age. Saka, Martinelli as well, when they were a little bit younger, and Unai Emery had very, very good games. And that could be, this season and this preseason could be the defining moment between Nwaneri going out on loan and staying at Arsenal, but also it could be decisive in, planting that idea in the manager's head that Ethan Nwaneri is ready to represent Arsenal in the Champions League, in the Premier League, and the FA Cup as well. So Nwaneri had a good game, but Emil Smith-Rowe's departure could be even a bigger headline for him than his performance there. The other player we've got to talk about was Fabio Viera. Obviously scored a very, very beautiful goal. If you've not watched it, oh my God, you're missing out. So basically, the ball is played into Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson played on the left-hand side, like you see there. Played on the left-hand side. He's below me right here. So I just do this, right? So there is Reiss Nelson. So the ball is played into Reiss Nelson in the 18th minute. Reiss Nelson drives to the byline, and then he just cuts it back. I think he's looking for someone, to jump and hit it down into the back of the net. So the ball just jumps each and every one, and it lands onto the foot of Fabio Viera. He doesn't take a touch. He just, it's a volley, right? And it's a beautiful volley. But that goal for me signifies and amplifies the level of talent and the level of quality we can see in Fabio Viera. Now, the problem I have with Fabio is I won't be surprised for him not to start any other game in pre-season. I mean, him and Mikel Arteta need to sort out something. And again, I won't be surprised for him to, for us to announce that Fabio Viera is injured. But it was, for Fabio, he's got to understand this. The team has backed him. The manager has backed him. It was always gonna be either Fabio Viera stays, right, or Emil Smith Rowe stays. None of them, not both of them were gonna stay, and not both of them were gonna leave. So Fabio Viera at the moment looks like the one that is gonna stay, and Emil Smith Rowe is the one that's gonna leave. This is going to be an important message, for Fabio Viera. Selling Emil Smith Rowe and playing Fabio Viera in that game is such an important message for him as a player, because the managers just told him, listen, last season Emil Smith Rowe was coming off the bench before you were. Now he's going. You have a chance to give me a reason for me to play you almost each and every single game, or at least to be one of my favorites coming off the bench. And that performance there should have told Mikel Arteta that the player is ready, because, yeah, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. Again, I still struggle to understand where he plays better and where he plays best. Is he better as a Martin Odegaard replacement? Because for me, when I look at him, he wants to get into the penalty area more than Odegaard does. I don't know whether I'm seeing him in a wrong way, but I would be happy and I would be glad to see him on the same pitch as Martin Odegaard. I want to see the both of them trying to press together, and I see maybe with Kai Havertz, and then we can judge. But yesterday, that was a good performance. Now overall, there were some lessons that this team actually gave us, and there were some few signs that we saw. I want to start off with the trend that is continuing at Arsenal. We are not conceding goals. And yesterday, it was not up to the team. Of course, it was up to the team, but it wasn't because we kept a lot of possession and we suffocated Bournemouth. It was because Karl Hein was good, but also it was because the team managed to do what we have done last season, to manage to limit Bournemouth to a certain number of chances and a certain number of shots. Now, yesterday, Bournemouth had 11 shots, and one of them went into the back of the net. The other 2 or 3 were saved, brilliantly by Karl Hein. But what you see there, guys, is a team assembled by Mikel Arteta that hates losing, number one, but also hates conceding goals. I mean, look at this backline. Look at that backline. Lewis Skelly and Heaven, Timber and Ben White, against a top Premier League side, by the way, Bournemouth. They play very good football, and they will be in good confidence since the end of last campaign. And Arsenal conceded 1 goal, right? Arsenal conceded 1 goal, and when we considered the goal, Omar Rekik had come on, right? And I'm not trying to blame anyone. I'm trying to say that this team and Mikel Arteta's plan is easy to see through. It's easy. He doesn't want to concede chances. He doesn't want to concede goal. So that trend continues. Even the likes of Saliba coming back, even the likes of Gabriel coming back. I think we're just going to see a stronger and stronger backline, a stronger and stronger team. And you love to see it, and I absolutely love to see it. The other thing that impressed me with the team was this. I want to show you the statistics here. The possession here, okay. The possession is 56% against Bournemouth, and we had 511 touches in that game. But to be honest, this is the team that had 55% ball possession over Bournemouth. A midfield of Nwaneri and a midfield of Salah Eddin Mohad. I love to see it. I can't lie, guys. I love to see it. If you're keeping possession, well, against a Bournemouth side that is almost full house, and Arsenal is putting together kind of a washed 11 with around 4-5 academy players. And how many players are actually first team players in this team? White, Timber, Partey, end of story. Maybe Viera. No, I mean we have 3 first team players. and we kept possession. So, guys, the principle and the blueprint of Mikel Arteta has been seen. And then finally, the players were a little bit rusty. Yeah, they were a little bit rusty, especially the second bunch. The first bunch was alright, but the second bunch was a little bit rusty. And I said yesterday during the match preview that this is a game where you come on to, if you're manager, you're just trying to get, the movable parts of your players moving again. If you're players, you're just trying to get your movable parts moving again. It's kind of, when you've not been to the gym for like 100 days or 200 days, and then you go back to the gym, you literally know that you can lift the heavy weights, 50 kilograms, 60 kilograms. Like me, I do 60, 70 kilograms at times. But that's a lie. But what you can do, what you know, is you start slowly. You start off with the 5 kilograms, then you go to the 10, because you're just trying to remind your muscles of where you are. It's not going to take a long time. So I don't expect these rusty performances to carry on for a long time. Maybe against Manchester United, and then against Liverpool, we'll see a good game. And then the trend on penalties is continuing. Arsenal scored 5 out of 5 on penalties again. Brilliant. You love to see it.